Over the past 6 weeks of this course, I learned a great deal about public speaking and myself as a speaker. I also realized the importance of effective communication and how big of an impact it can have on the audience. Even ancient philosophers and leaders, such as Julius Caesar, who I talked about in my informative speech, realized the importance of effective communication. Right now, our medium of communication is a little bit different because we're using technology and computers, but in either situation, the same skills are necessary to deliver an effective and memorable speech. Now, there are different ways and areas that the textbook talked about, and we talked about in our reflections and our homework assignments that effective speech can benefit us. There's the professional area, the personal area, and in our civic lives. So, an example for how I now realize that it can benefit me in a personal way is for my next presentation in school. I can now remember, or I'll know and be aware how important it is to structure my arguments or my ideas and presentations in an effective way and a logical manner. I'll also know that I should start off with a powerful introduction where I establish my credibility and I establish some sort of grounds for relevancy so the audience will actually be able to relate to me and they'll appreciate what I have to say and continue listening instead of just falling asleep or dozing into space. So that's a way it'll benefit me in a personal way because then I'll know my speech was good if they like it and I can see that they're paying attention throughout it. And that's rewarding to me and I'm sure it's rewarding to any speaker. Now in a professional setting, that's a little more obvious to me. Right now, I'm in my co-op at Johnson & Johnson, and I think it's been very beneficial taking this course concurrently with my co-op because I've seen how my presentations, my co-op, and my speeches in this class, how the same skills are used in each setting, and my fellow employees and my supervisors do use these skills, and I never really noticed it until I took this course. I just thought everybody was talking how it seemed to flow for them. But it's something that'll continue to benefit me throughout my entire professional career, and I'm glad I realized it. Now, there's a lot I've learned from this course. I can't say everything, but going into it, I remember thinking, oh, I'm good at public speaking. This course will be a doozy. I'm fine. I don't mind speaking in front of people. So I thought I was good enough, and I breezed through it. Well, apparently that wasn't true because my first speech almost was a disaster. And one of the major problems that I didn't even notice was I like to use the word. I may have used it already. I don't even know. Sometimes I say it without realizing it. But as part of my reflection, I went back through my first three speeches and tallied how many times I used the word. In my TED Talk, I used the word 42 times. In my informative speech, I brought it down to 11. My persuasive speech, I brought it down to 4. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't say it more than 4 times because that would be a step backwards. But either way, it's a work in progress. It's something I'm going to keep trying to improve on and not use as much. So another area that I was trying to improve on was my voice modulation and how I project my voice and making sure I speak up. This is something that other people have pointed out to me before, and Dr. Guckel pointed out to me after my informative speech, but I just never really took the time to develop it, or I didn't really know how to address the problem. It seemed a little obvious, but I still never did it until now. So hopefully you're enjoying that a little bit more. So that's also a work in progress. So those are more my weaknesses. One of my strengths about speaking is my confidence going into a speech. When I say my confidence, I don't really dread doing a public speech. I never really have minded getting up in front of a crowd of people and talking and giving a presentation. I actually always was excited for presentations, so I think that's something that might be a strength for me, but it could be a barrier to other people who don't feel confident going up in front of people or on a stage because if they are so nervous, they're not even going to be, they could fall apart or they'll just stutter a lot. They might have, or they just won't even be able to get up there and do it. So I think that's something that'll help me going forward, and it's helped me in this class. So some other things I learned that I'm going to take away from this class and apply towards my future life and presentations are, like I said when I was talking about how it'll help me on a personal level. It can help me anywhere, knowing how to structure my arguments, giving a powerful introduction and conclusion, and establishing credibility and relevancy. I think those to me seem to be one of the most important things Dr. Guckold was trying to get across to us. So those are definitely things I'm going to take away from this course. And one thing that I definitely realized that definitely proves to be true for public speaking is practice does make perfect, because like I said, for my first TED Talk speech, it was almost a disaster. I said 42 times, and I didn't think I was going to get a very good grade on it at all. And so I took a lesson out of that speech, and I got my act together, and I realized I'm not as good as I think I am, and I have a lot of practice to do. So after hours of reciting speeches and working out the kinks in all my speeches and figuring out all sorts of things, I definitely think I improved my skills, and if not, I at least reduced the number of ums I've used. So that's definitely something that is absolutely true for this type of skill when trying to develop it. So my new goal for this class, or for going forward from this class and for the rest of my life, which is, I think now it's time to establish a new goal since I've gained a lot of other skills from this class. By the time if I am some sort of prominent leader in a company or a medical doctor in practice, I hope to excel in effective communication and not be distracted by all the problems that I'm having in this class. Thanks so much, Dr. Guckold, and I really appreciate all you've done to help my public speaking skills. Have a great rest of the summer.